standing on an island. It's been just me for quite some time. Yeah, it can get lonely at times, I suppose, but I don't mind being alone. I've grown used to it. I spend most of my days exploring my little island and getting to know it better. There's still a few things that surprise me, but for the most part, I think I've come to know everything there is to know about my island. Every secret cave, moonlit lagoon, and breathtaking cliffside. I've learned to love them all. Every once in a while, I'll take a walk down to the beach and gaze out at the water. Sometimes, I see people floating by on small boats. I stand on the shore waving and calling out to them, but my voice is swallowed by the wind and they float past without noticing me or my island. This happened a few times before I made up my mind and decided to build my own boat. I had never traveled beyond my island before, and the idea was both terrifying and exhilarating. Who would I find? Would the other islands look like mine? What if I traveled too far and forgot where my island was? I thought about this for a long time before I finally decided that I didn't want to be alone anymore. So I set my fears and doubts aside and began the journey out to sea. I could have been traveling for more than a few hours when I came upon the first island. It looked vastly different from my own, so I decided to stop to see who lived there. I searched and searched for the owner of the island, but they were nowhere to be found. Maybe they're off exploring other islands too, I thought, as I set sail once more. The next island I came across was much farther out. As soon as I stepped off my boat, I was greeted by a stranger. They seemed glad to have some company on their island, so I stayed for a while. I saw many things I'd never seen before, but as we explored the island together, I began to miss my own home. So I invited them to come visit my island, eager to show them everything I had grown to love. As I climbed into my boat, though, I noticed that they weren't following me. Perhaps they were just as scared to leave their island as I was when I first left mine. I paddled out a bit, calling back for them to follow me. But they refused. Days passed, then weeks, and still I waited, hoping that they would gain the courage to explore the world beyond their island. They never did. I finally decided to set off once again. Not wanting to return to my island alone, I continued rowing, until one day I came upon a third island. It was much, much bigger than any island I'd ever seen before. I noticed the shore was lined with boats. Pulling mine up alongside them, I began to walk into the heart of the jungle. The moment I left the shore, I found myself amongst many different kinds of people, all wandering and exploring together. They invited me in and showed me around, taking me from one exotic location to the next. It was thrilling to be around so many new faces. I found myself despising the island I once loved so dearly. Things were so much better here. At least, that's how they seemed. They must be. Why else would I still be here? If my island was as great as I once thought, then surely more people would have come to visit me. One night, as we sat around a fire, they began to pass bowls of paint around, plunging their hands in and wiping them across their faces, staining themselves crimson red and earthy orange. Soon it was my turn. Cautiously, I pressed my hands into the bowls, raising them to my face. The smell was strong and cold. I wanted to stop. I wanted to stop so badly, but I could feel their eyes on me, like daggers piercing my skin. I dotted the paint around my eyes and my neck, letting it run drip down my shoulders and onto my arms. I felt like I was suffocating. The world around me began to turn hazy. I couldn't stop, though. I couldn't be alone again. I had to prove that I was one of them. I had to. My mind went blank as the world around me slipped away. When I woke up, I was alone again. The fire had gone out, and there was no one in sight. Slowly, I made my way back to the shore. As I started to paddle away from the island, I could feel the wind start to pick up and the water become choppy. My boat began to rock back and forth, tossed amongst the waves. I should have never left my island. This was all a mistake, I tell myself as the paint from last night was washed away by the storm. I tried to fight the waves and the wind, but it didn't make a difference. I was lost in the middle of the ocean, far, far from my home. The storm raged on for what seemed like forever. All the while, the storm of thoughts in my mind swirled and brewed. What did you honestly expect to find? We were fine when we were on our own. Why did you make us leave the island? Is this what you wanted? Are you happy now? It was about midday when I found myself in an area that seemed familiar. I let the wind carry my tiny beaten boat to the shores of the home I had once never dreamed of leaving. Abandoning my boat on the shores, I followed the trails as it curved around the island, dipping into the forest and winding out along the shoreline. With each step, I was reminded why I loved this island. The way the sun dappled the path with warmth and light. The view of the cliffside when the sun dipped below the water. And the way the stars reflected on the surface of the lagoon. It was beautiful. It was mine. I don't know why I ever left. I didn't leave my island for a long time after that. Not because I was afraid to go back, but because I was done chasing other islands. Once I thought my island was small, an insignificant speck in the sea, unworthy of being loved and explored by others. I was wrong. I just need to leave to realize it. Looking out across the water, I don't see anything. No living thing in sight, just sea and sky. The emptiness once would have bothered me, but not anymore. I've never felt so safe and at peace as I am in this moment. Maybe one day some will come by my island, but until that day comes, I'm content to just... Oh. What's that on the horizon?